So guys, we have this video here from Try that is called Path of Exile 2 players are stunned right now. And this video was released after the announcement about GGG redesigning how towers work in Path of Exile 2, which, if you want my opinion, I already gave it in a video, but I will say it in here. I think the change is awesome. It is great. Now you don't have to worry about using towers. You don't have to worry about losing the use of the map, because at most, if you die in a 3-tablet setup, all that is going to happen is that you lose one charge on your tablets, but you can go again and go again and go again. So the port, having one portal truly doesn't matter. So the whole thing is better for the game. You don't have to do overlapping towers. You use tablets as if they were scarabs from POE1. You don't care about the one portal stuff. Like, it is really fucking cool. There are, you could say that there is now a pressure to trade for the correct tablets, and you don't trade for tablets in the currency exchange, and that is annoying. But that is another topic. Let's be honest, it is really cool. Plus, probably in 0.4 they are going to improve even more the system, and this is a band-aid for now, meanwhile we get to 0.4, right? So Try is releasing this video after that, so what I am guessing is that he's going to talk about that and talk about the reaction or reception that the community has had towards this change. Let's go.
So you're turning the game into the same content slop that Path of Exile 1 is? Some people actually enjoyed a chill evening of gameplay without constant BS micromanaging. RIP this lady.
It is true that the change goes into the POE1ification of POE2, if you want to say it that way. But it is also true that this is good, that this is a good change. I like POE1, you guys know it, but I am also one of the advocates for don't make POE2 the same as POE1. But I don't think this change makes POE2 the same as POE1. It just gets rid of a bullshit system that didn't work. They tried it, it didn't work, it sucks, nobody likes it. Get rid of it, right? It doesn't necessarily transform the game into POE1. There are a lot of other stuff that are still unique to Path of Exile 2, right?
This direction continues, I guess. As a resident massive Path of Exile 2 enjoyer, you know who is just as bad as Path of Exile 1 purists? Those who believe POE2 should be tossed out wholesale and essentially be a Path of Exile 1 with shinier visual effects? Path of Exile 2 purists. Those who think POE2 should just be very different compared to POE1 because it's a new game. It's often stated as a joke that the POE2 developers are learning from the mistakes made in POE2 by bringing in lessons learned years ago in POE1. It's a funny meme, but what's really wrong with that? With them trying?
Base try. And it is what you are saying in the chat too. If something is better, then it's better. They tried the new thing. They saw that it doesn't work. Let's go back to the thing that we know that works. And it is still not exactly the same as scarabs. It is similar, but it is still not exactly the same, right? Like, you could say for some people this can be good or bad, but in scarabs, you can't tweak what the scarab does. You buy the scarab and the scarab does this. Tablets have mods that you can mix and match. You can buy a tablet with exactly 2 modifiers that you want that are different, right? So there are more combinations of stuff that you can do to customize your experience. So again, not saying it's better or worse, just saying it is different. It still has an identity, right? Maybe they change that in the future too. We don't know. What I am trying to say is that it is not the same, and they tried the system, it didn't work, and they are changing it. As you should. If we all have that old saying that insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. You can't, nobody liked towers. They needed to do something about it. And everybody is liking this change. So I don't know. I don't think, as someone that also wants POE2 to retain its identity, I don't feel that this change removes any identity from POE2, because the gameplay itself is remaining the same.
Something new and failing. I'd posit nothing. Most people are elated about this change, and many
I love that. Love those two memes, brother. Celebrating and this one, tower song. Okay.
changes Grinding Gear Games have been making since the start of 0.2 Dawn of the Hunt. Grinding Gear Games worked on Path of Exile 1 for over a decade. They're still working on it, and with Path of Exile 2, they have the opportunity to try entirely new concepts, stuff that would never fly in what POE1 has become. But what happens if they don't work? What happens if they put a load of development effort into them, but discover they're problematic and a huge swath of the player base doesn't like the newly imagined ideas?
That is exactly what I just said with better words. He said it better than me. But that is exactly what I said, dude.
In POE2, well, they'll change them for the better, or in some cases, bring in updated systems from POE1 that will likely work well in POE2.
That is another thing. How many times have you heard the saying that if it isn't broken, don't fix it? Like, if you already have something that works fine in POE1 and you could implement it in POE2 without altering the identity of POE2, why be stubborn and not just do it? You know what I'm saying? And again, I don't think this is completely POE1 stuff. It is just removing overlapping of towers because nobody likes it. It is still not entirely the same as POE1, right? But even if it was, it is something that is proven that it works. What is the problem without implementing it? And again, I don't think it is affecting the identity of the game. The game itself still plays differently. The game itself is also going, but that is another conversation. We had it the other day regarding combat and how in the end game now we are super fast and we are in the clear speed meta that also goes in the POE1ification. But that is another topic. That is balance and power and all of that. That is not related to the towers thing, right?
Or plop in new ideas and toss them out at a decently quick pace. When something works and could use some modernization, there's not a single problem with bringing it in from POE1, especially during this stage of heavy iteration in POE2. The upcoming endgame update is a prime example of this. It's game-changing, it's massive, and it's...
A lot of people were already done with the league, and when they saw the news that towers are going away, they said, I am going back when the patch drops because this is awesome. And this season already has a high player retention. You guys know that this season had a high player retention. So players like me that are still playing, we want to keep playing to play the patch. And some people that were already not playing want to come back to play the patch. So it is a W patch all around. You will still have some complainers around, like, oh, POE1, like the dude he put it at the start. But majority of people are happy with this.
In the middle of a league, reacting to great feedback now instead of waiting another 3 months is exactly what players thought early access would be.
Exactly.
Imagine if
GG's base as fuck.
they tried to sell this as another $30 update to POE2 early access. Now, wouldn't that be wild? Anyways, should people get pissed, crash out, and call Grinding Gear Games retarded for implementing Path of Exile 1 concepts into its sequel?
No, absolutely not. If the system is good, if the system works and it fits Path of Exile 2, let's go. Yeah, give me Delph. The Delph mechanic in POE1, give it to me. Some people say that the Atlas, the Infinite Atlas, is Delph in POE2. It is not. It is not the same. I will not tolerate this thing. Give me the actual proper Delph mechanic in POE2. Adapt it to POE2 and give it to me. That is an example of something that works and is cool in POE1 that I want to see in POE2. Let's fucking go.
Just because they don't want the game to be more like POE1, even if those ideas are excellent? No, of course they shouldn't.
Exactly, brother. Try, you made a good point that I am pissed off that I didn't think about it myself. This is completely true. They are so... And this is a minority group, by the way. This is a minority group because majority of people are happy. But there is a group of players that hate POE1 so much and want POE2 to be so different that they would be against a feature that would make the game better just because it comes from POE1 and they don't want to see it in the game. Are you stupid? That is actually retarded, man. That is like the people that are mad if their president does something that is good, but they don't like the president. They said, no, it is bullshit. Even if it is good, just because they don't like the guy. You cannot like the guy, but if he does something good, it is good, my man. It is beneficial still. Same logic in here. So you don't want a good feature just because it comes from POE1. That is retarded as fuck, man.
Do this. It's ridiculous, and players on social media sounding off or content creators who act like grinding your games are just reverting Path of Exile 2 to become Path of Exile 1 are silly at best and purely disingenuous bad actors at worst. When we see people polarizing, when we see tribal lines drawn and people are getting pissed at each other, I beckon you, try to reach out your hand and discuss it calmly. Remember, we're all...
Okay, try. I feel called out, dude, because I have been discussing it right now, but not calmly. But hey, that is how I speak, man. I don't want to think that I am in here like, mother. This is how I speak, dude. But okay, let's go, dude.
Wrong sometimes, and we all make mistakes. I've been wrong on this very topic before. This whole idea...
Me, I was wrong about towers. I am not afraid to admit it. When I originally started playing POE2, because I was not a POE1 player, you can go and watch videos of me or shorts of me defending towers, saying that people attacking towers didn't know what they were talking about. But then I played POE1 and my eyes were open. I saw the light. Towers suck dick, man. That is, so I recognize I was wrong. Towers suck. It is insanely better to not have towers. Let's fucking go. Good decision by GG. Easy as that.
Idea that people are concocting. Maybe it's a meme, but I think it's just absolutely massive cope. Here's why. You shouldn't dislike something just because you haven't played or dislike the source of it. The critique I'm seeing of this
based as fuck try
upcoming mega patch, or when any POE1 ideas fly into POE2, mostly relate to them coming from a sloppy, oversized, oversaturated, bloated old game, and its idea...
I have to say also that the contrary also happens, by the way. Again, it is also a minority and not all PoE players think this. But it also happens the contrary. When there is a system that works certain way in PoE1 and the developer comes up with the system and they change it from how it works in PoE1, some PoE1 players say that it is dog shit because they change it, right? It is the same thing but from the other side. That is also bad, right? Let's try the thing. If it doesn't work, okay, we can change it. But what if it works and it is better and it is cool, right? So it goes both ways.
Have no place in the new age Path of Exile 2 is ushering in. These critics say POE2 is just becoming POE1 with better graphics. That's it. And honestly, as we touched on, some people are yearning for that. And the people desiring that, I don't think they realize that if Path of Exile 2 did ever become Path of Exile 1 but shinier, that would be the death of Path of Exile 1. And we really, really, really do not want that to happen.
This is true, by the way, what Try is saying in here. I have said before that if Path of Exile 2, worst case scenario for Path of Exile 2 for some people is that Path of Exile 2 becomes Path of Exile 1 with better graphics, because they don't want Path of Exile 2 to be Path of Exile 1. So that is the worst case scenario. So even if that happens, I still think we would have in our hands a pretty good game. You know why? Because Path of Exile 1 is pretty fucking good. So if Path of Exile 2 becomes Path of Exile 1 with better graphics, we would have an awesome fucking game still. And that is the worst case scenario. So the future is looking really good, right? But I had never I never saw it from this perspective that Try is saying in here. If you already have POE1 with better graphics, what is the purpose of having POE1? At that point, you would stop having POE1. I didn't think about that originally, so hey, thank you, Try, for bringing that to our attention. At that point, the POE1 enjoyers will lose their game. Maybe they wouldn't care because now they play POE2, right? But I will tell you, I prefer to live in a world when we have POE1 and POE2 staggering releases and I have a new league every 2 months, that live in a world where I only have POE2 that works like POE1 and I have 1 league every 4 months. Even if they shorten it out to 3 months, it is still not a better world than having the 2 games separated and staggered for 2 months. Which is the world that we have right now. This is the best case scenario. I am loving it, by the way. I hope GE doesn't deviate from this 2-month cycle because I am loving it. There is always stuff to do, and the downtime is 1 week, 2 weeks. That, well, I already did everything, and now 2 weeks more, boom, you have the other league. 2 weeks more, boom, you have the other league. It is like, dude, the cycle is all the time there is something. Really fucking cool.
Path of Exile 1 should stand on its own 2 feet, just as Path of Exile 2 should. But that doesn't mean the 2 games can't take learnings from each other.
Fuck, man. Based
right
as fuck.
now, Path of Exile 2 is just taking the learnings from Path of Exile 1. But in the distant future, that might not be the case. Anyway, however, that is a massive oversimplification of what Path of Exile 2 presently is, what it likely will be in the future, and the numerous fundamental differences from Path of Exile 1 that'll remain in place. Even the upcoming endgame revamp, while incredibly reminiscent of POE 1, brings in nowhere near the level of complexity, customization, and as some people call it, content slop that's in Path of Exile 1. A critique I read on the top of this video conflates POE 1 with hyper-optimization and the inability to sit down, chill, and play the game. That's...
What do you mean? You do that in Path of Exile 1 all the time. In fact, one of the complaints that some Path of Exile 1 players had about Path of Exile 2 is that you couldn't do that before. Now you do it with all the blasting we had. But in 0.2 that you couldn't do that unless you were playing lightning speed. That was a complaint, that they wanted to just chill and turn their brain off like they do in Path of Exile 1. And you will say, no, you can't do that in Path of Exile 1. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You follow a guide, you have a build that blasts, and you just press, you right click, and you are watching a movie in the other monitor, and in here you are killing monsters. No problem, right? You absolutely can.
Entirely baseless as a long-time Path of Exile 1 player. In fact, I'd argue in the current Path of Exile 2 endgame, there's even more ridiculous micromanagement needed to optimally progress. While in POE 1, the Elk and Go strategy is incredibly basic, powerful, and relaxing. This update pushes Path of Exile.
That is another thing, not only in the gameplay, but also in the using of the maps. You can go take a random map. You don't even look at what map it is. You alk it, you go, you blast everything with one skill, you go out and you do it again, and you are not even thinking about what you are doing.
In both directions. It helps everyone.
And I am not saying it in a bad way for POE1. You can also think if you want. I am saying that basically contradicting that argument.
Only empowers the power gamers more, but it also allows those who aren't optimizing their waystones and atlas layouts to get more fun out of their playtime. More interesting mechanics, more monsters, more bosses, more items, more surprises, just more everything. And that's something I always missed from POE 1. This update is raising the floor, and that's awesome. You have a further degree of control, while also beckoning in an aura of randomness and surprise. While seemingly in conflict with each other, they meld perfectly. And I think lots of people skeptical of this change in the POE 1 direction for POE 2 will realize that once they get their hands on the new endgame next week. For example, in the old POE 2 endgame, you always saw all the mechanics on your maps before opening them. You knew there would be a breach and a boss, and unless you had a tower nearby and you ensured the tower would hit that map, you couldn't control whether or not anything else would be appearing on it that was meaningful. In the new endgame, now you have that control on every waystone you run. You can choose to...
I'll be honest, I have told you guys that I don't like mapping because exactly that. I go into a map, I don't know if I am going to do what I want to do. It is a pain in the ass. And the setting up of the towers is stupid. So what do I farm? I farm Trial of Chaos because I know that I only need the coin. I go in and I go out easy. I farm the Ritual King because I go in and I go out. I farm Logbooks because I go in and I go out. I farm Breach, the Twisted Domain, because I go in and I go out. This will give me that for maps. I buy the tablets that I want and I go in and I go out. Easy. I don't have to think about anything else. It is awesome, dude.
Add any set of 3 core mechanics, Breach, Expedition, Ritual, etc., alongside mini mechanics like Essences and Shrines. Then, when you load into the map, there will also be between 1 and 3 extra.
And also think about all the cool strategies that are going to arise. Strategies that right now people don't do because they don't go hand in hand with the using system that we have right now. For the new system, some people will say, hey, you get one tablet with this and one tablet with this, and a new farm that nobody is doing yet will arise from that, right? And of course, there will be a meta of the best tablets to get, but there will be also probably be other things that right now suck dick that in that new system will be viable, even if not the best. But sometimes we do it in Path of Exile 1 all the time. You trade efficiency for fun. So maybe you like a mechanic that is not tier S, but is tier A. It's still pretty good, but you like it more. It is more fun for you. Then you go for that one. This new system will give us more of that.
Surprises, maybe a bunch of breach hands, maybe a summoning circle, or an extra essence. You won't know until you hop in. It might sound funny hearing me describe this as a mystical thing, but it truly is magical and helps imbue more and more fun into the Path of Exile 2 endgame loop. Circling back to Grinding Gear Games hearing our feedback and making big changes. Whether or not it's in the POE1 direction, these huge swings like the endgame revamp, the addition of sprint, instant trade coming in, campaign shifts, and beyond are all exactly what we saw in early access. And honestly, the type of updates I'd like to continue see coming for Path of Exile 2 now and in the distant future. It's why I originally fell in love with POE1. The game was always so dynamic. There was always something new and exciting on the horizon, unexpected or not, and Grinding Gear Games always kept me desiring more and excitedly awaiting the next patch.
I am like that right now with both games. Like, I am excited right now for 327 in POE1. Please, EG, put the new trading system in POE1. Don't give me the league without the trading system. I can't go back, man. But I am excited all the time for the two games. Like, that is awesome, dude.
Path of Exile 2, I've always been hyped for the next update, but with this latest chain of changes, that hype level, it's just about overloaded. While there's plenty I'm still worried about, like performance issues, balance problems, the absolutely horrendous state of visual clarity, and whether or not the Druid is actually coming in 0.4, I just cannot wait to log in when I get some time to play. Onward to 0.3 and beyond. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, sub to the channel for all things Path of Exile 2, and leave a comment below. What's your opinion on POE2's future based on this mid-league patch? See you in the next one.
That it is going to be awesome. It is going to be the best fucking game ever.
Sane and have fun.
Dude, awesome video as always, Try. Thank you so much for the video, man. I agree completely. This is a based video from Try, dude. I think I said everything that I needed to say. I think the game is going in the right direction. I love the change. If they want to experiment and cook, we let them. It doesn't work, we change it. If there is something that already works and you want to do it, go for it. I think none of this removes any identity from Path of Exile 2, and I think we are trending in the right direction. What they need, in fact, in my opinion, for 0.4, reeling back, is the clear speed in the ultra end game. It is still cool that you can do that if you are ultra geared, but right now everybody's doing it. Like, the meta is clear speed. Some people enjoy it. To me, that is not what POE2 was supposed to be. I also don't think that we should be rolling away from white mobs in the end game. Like, I am okay with the blasting, but if you guys have seen the crazy blasting builds, you can't see the mobs. Like, they kill the mobs from off screen, and you go at the speed of light killing everything, and you do the map in 30 seconds. That is the thing that I am talking about. I am okay with fast. I am okay with blasting. In fact, that is how it is supposed to be when you are in the end game and geared up. But if you guys have seen the ultra meta builds, it is ridiculous right now, right? But that is a complaint for another video. For this one, awesome. Try. Thank you.